because we have a big time game tomorrow when it's going to determine pretty much who wins the NBA Finals. Well, if the Pacers win Game 6, obviously it's not determined, but if OKC wins tomorrow, that's it. They win the title. And Tyrese Halliburton is, getting an MRI. I don't even know if the MRI came out yet. I honestly have to go look after this live stream. But he was getting an MRI, on his leg. And obviously he's dealing with some kind of injury. So we will find out more details unless I missed it. However, I think Tyrese Halliburton is still going to try to play through it. I would be surprised if he didn't. But does that hurt the Pacers' chances, of extending the series? Because obviously Tyrese Halliburton is their number one guy. Now, is he their number one scoring option? You could say that's Pascal Siakam for sure. But Tyrese Halliburton is who this team was built around. And, he's the one who is the, point guard of the team. He's the one who's getting other people involved, getting shots for others. And so they really need him, regardless of, him not being necessarily the leading scorer on the team. They need him. They need him to be effective. They do need him to score, though, for sure. But, they need him to be effective. And so Game 6 is going to be really interesting because I don't know if the Pacers are going to be able to force a Game 7. Now, the Pacers have been so resilient throughout these entire playoffs. The way that OKC bounces back after a loss, the Pacers have done the exact same thing. And so I am not doubting that or questioning that. And the Pacers have given themselves a chance. In the last game, they cut it to 2 at one point. I think it was in the fourth quarter. They literally had a chance to, even win the last game, but they obviously, didn't capitalize, and, OKC took over and they won. So they have given themselves a chance to even win games that they didn't win in these finals. So I don't doubt that they will do that again. I don't doubt that they will fight till the end. And I think they're definitely going to need a huge game from Pascal Siakam if they do want to, continue on, because especially with Tyrese Halliburton being hurt, he's already, like we just discussed, not the most explosive scorer. But if he's hurt, that's going to hurt his ability even more so, because now the problem with Tyrese Halliburton is not just that he may not be your leading scorer, but if he is struggling with lateral movement, he can't get by people, so he can't get those crafty layups. And not that his game was predicated on that, but now you're eliminating more parts of his game that he was using. If he can't, run up and down the court as fast as he can, which one of the things the Pacers like to do is go really, really fast. They love to run. And if Tyrese Halliburton can't push the pace because he physically can't, play at that speed because of his injury, that's already, changing the Pacers' game plan. Not on purpose, but if he can't do that, then they have to slow down the pace, which means they have to play against half-court defense, which means OKC, we know they're going to thrive in that, because OKC has one of the best half-court defenses, and OKC, especially in the half-court, we know loves to turn you over. We saw it happen in, the last game a bunch of times. So the Pacers can't afford to play against half-court defense the whole game, but they may not have as much of a choice if Tyrese Halliburton, can't play at that speed. Andrew Nembhard and other people could bring it up the court, but we know that Tyrese Halliburton is their point guard. Other people can handle the ball and do that sometimes, but they need him to still be able to do that. So his injury trickles down in a lot of different ways. People are going to focus on the fact that he necessarily wouldn't play his best and, wouldn't be effective just from his statistical standpoint. But I think what's more, effective or, not good for the team is not necessarily his stats, but what I just, explained to you guys. The fact that it might change the entire tempo, and what the Pacers literally have made their money on, so to speak, is playing this run and gun game. Run as fast as you can and get up and down the court, make or miss. If the team makes a layup, if they miss the layup, doesn't matter. If they make a basket, they're still throwing it down the court. And that necessarily doesn't have anything to do with Tyrese Halliburton being able to run if he's throwing it from 3/4 court, right? But still, like, his ability to push off that leg may hinder his ability to throw those kind of passes. So, like, it trickles down to potentially, messing with the entire system of how they play. So I'm just giving you like an overview look of how it could affect everybody, not just Tyrese Halliburton himself. So the point that I'm trying to make is that Tyrese Halliburton's injury could be, pretty detrimental to the team. Now, even prior to the injury, Tyrese Halliburton was not having the best series. Obviously, Lou Dort is doing a great job on him. I said in game 1, if you remember, if you were here, I said I cannot believe that Lou Dort was not guarding Tyrese Halliburton on that last possession in game 1. Because Tyrese Halliburton, yes, like Cason Wallace defended him decently, but there was way too much airspace for someone like Tyrese Halliburton. Like, that was basically a layup for him. And so I was like, I can't believe Lou Dort. Like, obviously I understand, it went really fast. And I'm not blaming Lou Dort. Like, he had to go guard somebody. So, it went really fast. So I'm not saying like he could have gotten to Tyrese Halliburton, but I'm just saying, in hindsight, I said after it happened, I'm like, I can't believe Lou Dort was not on Tyrese Halliburton. Like, at the end of the day, get Lou Dort on him, right? Like, if he makes a shot over Lou Dort being literally on top of him, then we'll live with that. But you need your best defender on Tyrese Halliburton on the last shot of the game, because that's literally what lost them the game for game 1. Regardless, they have, made up for that and whatever. But Lou Dort has done a great job on Tyrese Halliburton when he has guarded him. And you could see the extra attention to Tyrese Halliburton, especially after that game 1. They saw that game-winning shot, and now Tyrese Halliburton has 0 airspace. 0. Like, he can barely get a shot off because they are on top of him. Somebody said you were talking about basketball way too intellectually. Thank you. I appreciate that. I know that's a compliment. I appreciate that. Thank you. Somebody said, so happy you're live. Woo! Live again. Yeah. I love that. Unfortunately, the Pacers lost the finals in game 5. That was the best opportunity to go up 3-2, and they blew a lead too. Game 5. That was the last game. Okay. I was like, wait, was the last game game 5? I feel like their opportunity to win wasn't game 5. Was it game 4? What was the game? Game 4, right? That was the game where the OKC basically pacered the Pacers, right? When the Pacers were up like the whole game, and then OKC just stormed back, right? That was game 4. Because Shea had an incredible fourth quarter. I feel like that was the game that they should have won. Like, I understand basically OKC can say the same thing like I said about game 1 and stuff like that. Like, they basically, did to the Pacers what the Pacers have done to other teams. So I'm not taking credit away from OKC, but I'm saying, like, from your, comment, I would say game 4 more so, because I feel like the Thunder really kind of had more control of game 5. Like, I feel like game 4, a lot of us were like, uh-oh, I don't know if the Thunder are going to close this out, because they didn't look like they had control at all in that game, right? And they just, took over in the fourth quarter, especially Shea. So I feel like that was more of a missed opportunity for the Pacers than game 5. I feel like game 5 really went to the team that deserved to win, if that makes sense. Like, again, not trying to say Pacers don't deserve to win, but like, that's the best way I can explain it. I feel like that was really game 4. But now we're here, and this series is so hard. Like, again, from before it started, I picked OKC to win, so I'm not concerned about that. Like, I picked OKC before the series started. But is it going to be in 6 or 7 is the question. That is the unpredictable part. Because, again, the Pacers, they just rally. Like, they fight till the end. And so I want to say that OKC closes it out, especially if Tyrese Halliburton is, really that hurt. But closeout games are the hardest. And we know that, especially for a team like OKC, who's never been in a closeout game in the NBA Finals, with this, this group, it's not that I don't think they're going to be ready for the moment. I think they absolutely will be prepared. But are they going to be prepared to I don't even know if hustle is the word. Like, basically just outpacer the Pacers. Because the Pacers are just going to play like it's game 7, of course. And you would hope that OKC also plays like that. But, like, sometimes, even if OKC is playing like game 7, the Pacers are playing like it's game 7, 8, 9. You know what I mean? Like, I just don't know. Like, will the Pacers' willpower just take over? And they're like, no. You know what I mean? So, I want to say OKC wins game 6, but I don't feel confident about that. I don't know. I just see the Pacers winning. I know when I started this live stream, I don't even know if I made a prediction, but if I did say Pacers in 6, if I did say OKC wins 6, I'm retracting that statement because I don't feel good about that. I don't feel good either way. I'll go Pacers win game 6, and then OKC closes it out in 7, but I wouldn't be surprised either way. So, somebody said, oh yeah, you're right, mixed my games. The one that's got faster reft, in which would have been game 4. Okay, yeah, so we agree. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video, or this live stream rather, and see you next time. Bye!